Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, my review of a device which has completely captured my heart, the Boox Go 10.3. So I did an unboxing and first impressions video of this device when I first got it. I'll put up a card for that so you can check that out if you haven't seen it already. Boox very kindly sent me this device for review, and I am also a Boox affiliate, so there'll be links in the description to the video to the Boox store where you can buy this. If you choose to buy using one of my links, I do get a small commission. Just wanted to declare that up front. So I've been playing around with this device for the last week or so, and I am blown away by it. I'm really enjoying using it. And it's reminded me why I fell in love with e-ink devices in the first place. We've been, I think, on a bit of a strange journey with e-ink devices in that as they've become more and more advanced, they've also somehow become less and less magical. I remember my experience when I first got an e-reader, which was a Sony one. I was just amazed by how real it felt, how it did feel like actually reading on paper. But you know, when you turn the page refreshed and you had, you know, a different page of paper, if that makes sense, in front of you. This device has reminded me of the magic of e-paper, which I had forgotten, because as we've evolved the technology and we've added other things like the front light and color overlays and touchscreens and things like that, I think we've got further and further away from the magic of e-paper. And the magic of e-paper and ink is that it looks real. It looks like you are actually looking at an image on paper. And the Boox Go 10.3, I think, really gets back to that original magic for me. I think Boox have very deliberately done that with this device. They've gone backwards to go forward, so they've taken stuff out that you would normally see in a device like this. So it doesn't have a front light. There is no illumination on this. So you need to use your own normal lighting in order to read it, like you would with a paper book. It also doesn't have an SD card slot, which many devices do have. And I think the reason for that is they've tried to make it as slim and portable as possible. And it is incredibly slim. It's ridiculously thin. It's 4.6 millimeters thick. It's really light and comfortable to hold in the hand as a result of that. But it's really the screen that is the star. I'm going to put in some still images of the screen because I don't think video does it justice. But it's so crisp, so clear, so enjoyable to read on. It really does feel like something from a science fiction movie or something like that. It's really wowed me, as you could probably tell. So anyway, let me stop waffling and actually talk about some of the details. So I'm going to talk a bit in this video about like the physical design of the unit. I will talk a little bit about the software, and then I'll talk about the kind of things I've been using it for. As I always say in these videos, I am coming at this as a reader. I'm not a gadget blogger. I'm not like deeply immersed in, like knowledge of gadgets and things like that. I just like reading on e-ink screens. And that's why I reviewed devices like this on the channel. So let me start with some of the basic facts. So it's got a 10.3 inch Carter 1200 black and white e-ink screen with 300 pixels per inch resolution. Because it doesn't have that front light, because it doesn't have a colour overlay, there is less between you and that e-ink screen, and that's why it's quite as clear and crisp as it is. It supports pretty much every sort of reading format document you can imagine, and because it is running Android 12 and has got the Google Play Store installed, you can install any reading app you want, or any audiobook app you want in order to read or listen to books. It's also got speakers, and it's got Bluetooth support, so you can connect any Bluetooth headphones or anything like that for listening to audiobooks. It doesn't have an SD card slot, but it does have 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, so more than enough for a ton of books. It also comes with a pen for annotating books and note-taking. So let's talk about that design then. It is, as I've said, it's kind of elegant. It's really nicely designed. Super thin. It's got this really nice kind of textured, almost like fake leather style back which makes it really comfortable and pleasant to hold. It feels organic. So yeah, really, really nice to hold. And I really like the cleanness of the overall design. I really like the kind of white and grey they've used rather than black on the front of it. And it all just feels very nicely manufactured. So yeah, a delight to use, and just nice to just look at, to be honest with you. I have quite a few e-readers around the house, as you'll know if you've watched the channel. This is the first one where my wife pretty much straight away went, I want that one. It really is just lovely to look at. And the software design, like the physical design, is just really clean and efficient and nice. So they've done a really good job of having a simple software overlay that just works really, really well. The device runs Android 12, so you can install any apps you want on it. Comes with the Google Play Store. But what I think Boox are trying to do is make it feel like an e-reading and note-taking device first and foremost. You have the benefit of being able to install other apps as well, but they've done a fantastic job of like the basic software on this. So you've got a library tab, so I've imported all of my ebooks onto here. You've got a shop tab where you can download kind of anti-copyright books and things like that. You've got the note-taking tab, so the notebook tab, which I'll talk a bit more about in a moment. You've got a tab that just talks about storage, so it shows you how much storage you've got left on the device. And then you've got the apps tab, so it comes with Google Play pre-installed. As you can see, I've installed a few other things here. So I've installed Microsoft OneNote to have a play around with that. I've got the Kobo Books app because I do a lot of my reading on Kobo. And I've got a couple of manga apps as well. And this is a fantastic device for reading manga on. That crisp, clear screen makes it wonderful for reading that kind of visual content on. So let's take a quick look at the note-taking ability. So I am not a big annotator or note-taker, but this seems to work very, very well. There's a load of different notebook templates. The pen, which it comes with, works very, very well. Doesn't need to be charged or anything like that. It just works straight out of the box. They've also got something they call Smart Scribe on here, which is really clever. So for example, you can just scribble out a word in order to erase it. There's a load of configuration you can do on the writing side of things to make it work in the way that you want to. The other thing they've done with the software, which I think is very, very clever, is there's a split screen mode. So you can have, for example, a book in one half of the screen and a notepad in the other and be taking notes on the book as you go. You can also have the same book in the two different halves of the screen. So if you're reading it in one half, but you want to refer back to a previous chapter or section in the other half, you can do that. And it just works flawlessly. Really, really nicely implemented. I've been very, very impressed by that side of things from Boox. They've also got a kind of cloud sync feature. So if you've got the same books on more than one of your Boox devices, you can sync your progress and notes and things like that in the cloud, which is fantastic. So like the equivalent of Amazon's WhisperSync. So yeah, they clearly are putting a lot of effort into the software side of things, and I think they're doing a fantastic job with it. As with a lot of these Android e-ink devices, there's a load of configuration you can do around the way the screen refreshes as well. So you can set different refresh rates for different apps and things like that. So for a reading app, you may not need it to refresh that often, but if you are using it for web browsing or something like that and you want smooth scrolling, you can turn the refresh rate all the way up, and it makes for a very decent experience, a much better experience than you would expect to have from an e-ink screen. So overall, my impression of this device is very, very positive, as you can probably tell. Everything I've tried to do on it, it's done well. It's a pleasure to read on. That screen is absolutely outstanding. I'm really, really enjoying using it. There are two things, though, that I just wanted to mention as like possible flaws, both of which are to do with kind of the physical side of things. So one is a strange one, which is the pen, which, as I said, works really, really well, attaches magnetically to the side of the device, so you can stick it on there like that. But because the device is so thin, that magnetic attachment is not very strong, so it is quite easy for the pen to fall off. It also comes with a cover, which again looks very nice clean design, very simple and works well. It magnetically attaches to the device, and the screen will unlock when you open the cover. But it does come with this weird extra bit, which is kind of like a pen loop. So you can magnetically attach this extra strip onto the cover to make the closure of it more secure, and also to hold the pen. But I found that that extra strip just kind of gets in the way sometimes, and because the magnets on it are quite strong, it's often difficult to manipulate. So I think the cover could possibly do with some work, but aside from that, I've only got good things to say about this device. I really do think it's great. So yes, that's my review of the Boox Go 10.3. I like pretty much everything about this device, but it really is that wonderful screen that's the star. Anyway, I will leave it there and say, as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.